Hey, Harry.
Hey, Donna.
Uh, a lot of people have asked me about why don't we put our shows online?
Hmm.
And uh, and I feel like it might be a while before we're able to have a group of people in our theater again. Well, what are your thoughts about what we might do about that?
You mean putting new shows online or our old shows?
Oh, well, that's a good breakdown. So let's talk about old
Mhm.
shows. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know if it's technically or legally, we can't really put the old shows online because we made videos of the shows basically for archive purposes. And so it was made in good faith agreements with two different people. One of them, obviously, was the playwright, that we weren't going to be putting the work out there into the world, that it was just going to be used for research, for scholarly pursuits and how a production was done. And then the other one are the actors, because the actors, what is a good way of saying it? Some of them are SAG, and then if the theater were to in any way make money off of it, then we would probably they would be liable,
Hmm.
I guess, in a way. And then of course there are artistic reasons. One of them is that they were directed for the theater, and then not necessarily for film or for video even. So then a lot of the quality of the work gets lost. Um, Whereas, you would need somebody like Gerard Elmore to come in and film it, like that, to turn it into match the theatrical artwork with the movie kind of quality artwork.
Yeah, he'd need to direct it. Our shows aren't directed for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I find all that completely understandable. As an actor, I've been in a lot of shows that get filmed, and I never watch those because that is not what that it was ever meant to be.
Mm.
But what about shows that are produced? Can live theater exist in this digital realm?
And live theater, no, well, I'm I I feel that eventually we'll be able to do live theater again somehow, in some form. And then, like I have said before, that I believe that theater as an art form, its unique thing is that you need to leave home, and then you need to sit next to people you don't know. And then when you all experience the same thing, like when you're watching a show that's a comedy and a wave of laughter washes over everybody, or when you're watching somebody that tugs at your heartstrings, and then everybody, like that, men, women, children, just start weeping.
Mhm.
That's 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 the only way you can create community, is that kind of shared experience in a room with people you know and you don't know. Now, that being said, yeah, i I do believe that plays can be transferred to other media. And then I believe that it takes a different quality of artists. It takes a different approach to the acting, and it takes a different approach to the entire production. But I believe that if Kumu Kahua is a playwrights theater, if the playwright feels that it can be communicated through another medium, then I would welcome it, you know. And I also believe that maybe we should start throwing the word out there that if you have something, like I know that that writers are writing things for people to perform in their homes, which are live. I mean, I think we can throw the door open for that kind of work from our artists. actors, writers, other directors, even designers, if they so choose. But then, like I also firmly believe that it's the Gerard Elmores of Hawaii, to bring up his name again, that 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 are the digital film creators, you know. And then the same way that I believe that what is a good way of saying it? That anybody can pick up a camera and film something, and it'll be hit or miss whether it'll move somebody or tell a story or speak to a group of people larger than their friends and family. I believe that anybody can try and do it. But I also believe that the integrity of our craft demands that we pursue it vigorously and truthfully and with a clear eye as to what our limitations might be. You know, whatever we would bring to other platforms or to other ways of communicating, we need to be honest that that isn't necessarily theater. That it's a new and different kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm certain people have done theatrical productions that have just transferred beautifully to film, that have just captured everything that the stage, whatever captured, the stage work captured. But we need to be honest and say that, yeah, you know, that might not be theater. Yeah, that might be more film. You know, even though we've captured the theatrical work, you know, the same way, I don't know, the same way a fashion photographer captures fashion. You know, it's not fashion that they're capturing, it's photography. You know, they've captured something that in another form, in a runway, would be a completely different experience. You know, so you give your credit to the photographer for creating an image that is not necessarily the same as a model walking down a catwalk, which is live. You know.
Good point. Good analogy. Do you think live theater is going to be changed ever more after this?
I think yes. I think I think the most important change is going to be that people will. Well, actually, knock on wood, is that I hope people will appreciate it more. You know, I think people will. I think people will realize what is lost. You know, when you lack live interaction. You know, I mean, I have seen the greatest acting that I have seen, you know, for the most part in my life, because I live in Hawaii. No, I'm not trying to insult any theaters or any actors here, but I've been actors on the film. Do you know what I mean? I because they were captured at the height of their powers, and you know, and then so I saw them. I mean, even though I've been completely brought to tears and laughter through live actors everywhere, including Hawaii, the greatest actors I've seen have been on film because they were captured, you know, for that brief moment. But they haven't meant as much to me as seeing Dan Secchi's work. Do you know, it's or seeing Naila Fujii or Charles Tim or Jamie Bradner or Catherine Almer, you know, like that perform. It's I don't know. It's it's not a De Niro, you know, in Taxi Driver, but it means more to me because it's live, because I'm there, because my reaction feeds them and they feed me back. You know, it's a different kind of nourishment. But that's one of the things I'm hoping, is that people will realize uh, what a thing you've been missing when live theater's been taken away. I mean, the same way that the theaters were closed by the plague in Shakespeare's time. You know, they're closed right now because of our current plague. And I'm hoping that, you know, eventually that it'll all open up. But I think that and then the other thing is that I think that artists, yeah, will be able to appreciate more, you know, what it means to do live theater. Yeah, I mean, as well as audiences, that writers and actors and designers and directors and, you know, stage managers, um, that they they too will understand when I say, you know, like uh, seeing Mali Kapuala do Uapau is 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 a different kind of animal, you know, than watching something on film or reading something or seeing a dance, or and then that it's precious and needs to be saved and captured again. I I hope that's what happens.
Yeah, I think that initially we're all going to be like cave dwellers coming out and blinking in the sunlight, and we're going to go through a little bit of sensory overload. Like when I watch um, movies now, I notice how, oh my God, how often those people are breathing on each other and touching each other without
Yeah.
washing their hands, you know.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward to the first show back when we all feel safe. And I think, like everything else that we're experiencing now, we're going to have to be patient with ourselves and everyone around us, because I think it's going to feel overwhelming. But I absolutely agree that I think that we're all missing it. We don't even know how much we're missing it. And I think that uh, even if our first show back was an uproarious comedy, I think there's going to be a lot of tears,
Mhm.
because that kind of stirring that you can get in person is going to be so magnified.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh
Thanks for
yeah, I
answering my
completely agree.
thanks for answering my questions.
Oh yeah, of
I
course.
appreciate it. And so all right, I'll let everyone know who asks me now. Pretty easy. Thanks, Harry.
Yeah. Thanks, Donna.